Welcome back, guys, for another episode of the Black Diamond Podcast. I'm your host, Will Whyte, and I'm joined with two lovely ladies tonight. And we got a great episode for you. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, ladies. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well myself. Thank you for asking. For introductions, can I have your name, age, education, what you do for a living, where you're from, and lastly, your relationship status?
I was going to say, who go first? Who go first? I go first. I'm Yvonne, the Motivator Man. I am the host of Determined Women of Destiny, which can be seen on YouTube. Season 7 starts in October, so please keep your good eye on me. I have a Bachelor's of Arts. I am a life coach. I am a motivational speaker. I am an author. Oh, yes, please go to lulu.com and purchase Designated Survivor Beauty of Your Ashes. That is a journal to help women navigate through life and to just access their talents and their dreams and their gifts, put them all together in one little package and live the good life. I work for an organization on Long Island that provides services for substance use and mental health, and I am their community engagement specialist. I have a background in HIV, mental health, and substance use. My relationship status, I'm sorry, I am 62 years young. I'll be 62 July 22nd. So y'all can say happy birthday to me now. Go ahead, I'm listening. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I am currently single.
Okay. I am Msnookienn. I am creator of Naturals Nook, which is an online sex and relationship radio talk show. I'm a certified love coach and sexuality educator. Currently, I just created 2 e-journals. One is called Embrace Your Radiance. It's a self-love journal. And the other one is called Love and Connection. And it's a 30-day journal planner that can help you upgrade your dating life within 30 days. I have a bachelor's in biology. I planned on being a doctor, but this just kind of called to me more. So I have a bachelor's in biology, and I am 47 years old, and I am currently single. And if you're interested in the journals, my website is naturalsnook.com.
Okay, interesting. So both of you ladies are over 35 and single. What would you say is the reason that is?
That I'm single?
Yeah.
Choice. I took a few years to work on me. I was married. Um, that wasn't okay. And I had a couple of relationships that weren't okay. So then when you look at the common denominator, I had to look at me because I was in all of those relationships. So I took some time off just to check out me. And then, work got in the way, family got in the way, all the other stuff. And I dated casually, but now I believe I'm ready for the commitment.
All right. So how long were you married for, and who initiated the divorce?
Okay, I was married like 60 seconds. No, like black people, we stay together forever. I was legally married for 9 years, but we separated by year number 2. And it was mutual.
Somebody has to file the paperwork first.
Oh, of course, I filed the paperwork. He wasn't going to file the paperwork. It wasn't important to him. It was important to me to be free. Yeah, so I filed it. I filed the paperwork. I was lucky. I had a friend that was going to school to be a paralegal, and one of his projects was to do a divorce. And he was like, "I got you. Just pay for the paperwork." Um, we filed it, and like within 6 weeks, I was divorced.
Okay. All right. What about you, Msnookienn?
So I'm divorced as well. I'm a single mother, and I had to work on me, just like Miss Yvonne said. I had to work on me, which is why I created the self-love journal. And it was like a trial and error type of thing of dealing with the hurt and dealing with everything that I had to go through. And now, basically, I put myself on a pedestal because I'm not gonna. I'll never say that I'm healed because I don't believe anyone is ever completely healed. But I have done a lot of healing to put myself on a certain level, and I'm not coming down. And right now, there's like a lot of dudes out there, they're just used to, saying anything to any woman, getting what they want, and they just ain't ready for me. I have yet to meet someone who's truly ready to really, truly have an in depth conversation, be vulnerable with each other, and, get to that point. So that's what it was for me, or that's what it is for me currently.
So let me pose a question. Do you think you have more dating options now that you're older, or when you were in your like mid early 20s?
Okay, so for me, I recently moved to Georgia from Maryland. I'm a 100% Northern girl, born in New York, went to college in DC, lived in Baltimore. And it's different down here. It's different in the South. The the dating culture is different because what I've noticed when I was dating in Maryland, when I was on dating apps and such, I got more dates. I had more options to go out. Down here, dating culture is most men believe that women just want a meal or a bill paid. And so when men meet a woman like me, because I have no reason to lie. I don't want to remember a lie, so I don't. Lying means you got to remember something. You don't got to remember the truth. So if I'm talking to you and I'm telling you XYZ, and you sitting here, well, I don't believe you. Women say that all the time. I don't got time for that. I don't got time to sit here and constantly have to prove my worth and that I'm being true to you because you are damaged because of all of the women or just the dating culture down here of what it's made up at. Or how it's made up. I even have a male friend from childhood who lives down here, and even he said it on the first date. A woman was like, "So what bill you want to pay for me?" So it's different down here. So my options, it's harder to date, and I think it's because of the dating culture of the South, and that's my take on it.
Oh, you said that you have less options.
Less viable options, yes, because you talk to someone and either they just want to know. I had one guy tried to guarantee sex on the first date, and I was like, listen, I was like, just because we connect on the phone and talking and via text, don't mean that the energy is going to be the same up front. So like he scheduled something and then all of a sudden he had something to do and couldn't make it. So I was just like, you know what? I don't get, if I'm looking for something casual, I'm gonna let you know I'm looking for something casual. I'm not gonna play a game because I mean, I got needs, you know? But if I say I'm looking for something serious and, let's bond, then I'm serious about that. So it's just the the mindset of the men appear to be different down here for me.
Okay, Yvonne,
Yeah, I
what
love what
about you?
I love what you said, Miss Nookie, when you said I have set a place for myself and I'm not going to remove myself from there. And I feel the same way. Low hanging fruit, everybody swings by and picks it up. And I'm that fruit at the top of the tree that is always getting ripened. I'm the one that's juicy. I'm the one that's good for you because I've been sun kissed, right? So there's only going to be a special person that's going to go to that tree and go up that far to get that fruit. And as far as dating, since I've been casually dating, like let's go out and eat, let's go hang out, because I'm a guy's girl. I grew up a tomboy. I'm good for that. We can chill and just be okay. Um, I don't have a problem with that.
But would you say that you have more options now, or when you were in your early 20s?
I have more options now because I listen and I have more substance in my conversation. When I was younger, I was playing that game because I'm a proverbial flirt. I hang around number dudes. Trust me, I got this game on lock. I went to Florida one time. I walk in to the hotel. The guy says, "Ooh, if I knew you were here," I said, "Boo, you knew I was here. You knew I was coming. Why weren't you prepared?" And I walked past. This man said, "See, that'll show you shut up." So when I was younger, it was about the game, right? It was about the game because that's what was out there. So I didn't have a lot of choices because a guy don't want himself. You know what I mean? I had to develop into a softer, more approachable, more conversational. I had to become a girl, period.
Do you? So what I'm kind of understanding is that you believe that your value has gone up as you've gotten older.
Yes, absolutely. Because now I know who I am. I always say if I could go back to my 30s with who I am now, I'd rule the world. You can't walk around with the name Yvonne the Motivated Man and not know who you are. That name alone lets you know.
So wait, what things do you think men value in women?
They value someone who can listen, absolutely, who can listen to them when they speak and then have a cohesive relationship, a cohesive conversation. See, a lot of times we listen just to respond. We don't listen to hear what you have to say because we're so quick. We got something to say too. But when I'm sitting on the other side of that dinner table with that guy, I'm listening to him. Because if you listen to a man, you'll understand his heart. If you understand his heart, you can get his heart. And if you get his heart, you can be with him till the day he dies. Ladies, that was free. Next time you have to pay me for it.
So what else besides listening?
Men are visual. They are very visual. Okay, sugar, can you put some lipstick on? Can your lips not be crusty? Can it not? You don't have to have the breast augmentation. You don't have to have the BBL. If you got a flat butt, that's fine, but have some nice pants on it or a nice skirt with a split. Guys are visual. Give them something to look at. When you're going out with this man, he always thinks my boys may be there. And he always wants somebody that if his boys are there, he can throw his arm around and say, "Hey, yeah, this is my girl Yvonne." And the boys would be like, "Oh, yo, that's how you living? That's how you living, right?" And so later on the conversation is gonna be like, "Yo, man, how'd you get that?" So we have to present ourselves and understand men are visual. So
So
that
okay,
means that
men are visual, right?
yeah, they're visual, they want to be listened to, and they want to be loved.
Okay. So all right, if men are visual,
Mhm.
wouldn't it make sense that they would desire you when you were younger rather than compared to an older version of yourself?
Well, you're thinking of the fact of the perky breast and the 21 and a half inch waist and the size 9.
I'm just saying in terms of mate selection, men do value youth and beauty. So
They
what?
do.
Why is it? It's kind of going against what you said because as you've gotten older, I don't think your youthfulness has gone up. Men tend to value youth and beauty, which is why they go after younger women.
Youthfulness has not gone up, but I told you before, baby, I'm conditioning underneath this. I bring pressure. I'm a beautiful woman. I'm a beautiful woman, whether I'm 32 or going to be 62. So, yeah, I got the gray hair. And I may have a few creases that I didn't have when I was younger. But see, if a guy who is between 60 and 50 that's looking for a 35-year-old, I'm not his flavor. I'm not trying to play on a team that has not picked me. I told you in the beginning, I'm a woman of a certain age, I'm a woman of a certain size. So there's only a certain type of man that's going to be interested in me.
I think it's dangerous to say that as a woman gets older, her value goes up because there's certain points in a woman's life where she's not going to be able to make the same decisions as she would if she was younger. For example, having children, right? Um, and overall, the top three things I know men desire is femininity, being agreeable, and then youth and beauty, which you got right. You said youth and beauty. You said beauty. But we desire those things because as a man ages, his value actually goes up. And we know this based off stats and numbers. As men tend to get older, they tend to hit their financial stride. So a point in life where they're going to make the maximum amount of money. And that's important because as men make more money, they can provide for a family better. So as men tend to get older and they make more money, they have to look for women who can now provide them with the family that they worked and sacrificed so hard and long for. Does that kind of make sense?
It makes sense, but, and I'm gonna let Miss Nookie go. It makes sense, but it makes sense to someone of your age because honestly, the value of men don't go up because when they get older, they make more money and they're able to provide more. Because sugar, our value goes up financially too. We have the ability to make more money. All
But that's not what we value in women. We don't really, men with money don't look for other women with money.
you're right, men with money.
But why would you want to date a man who doesn't have any money?
Because everybody's not going to come to me a millionaire.
I mean, he doesn't have to be a millionaire. I'm just saying a man who's financially stable.
Figures, right? A man who's financially stable, he wants somebody to bring something to the plate, and it's not youthfulness and beauty. There's no way that you're making six figures and I get to make $20,000 and I'm attractive to you, whether I'm 30 with a 21-inch waist or not.
No, that's where you're wrong. Men will definitely take femininity, agreeableness, a peaceful home, and youth and beauty over a woman who's older and makes money and wants to contribute 20% to the bills. I mean, if you want to look at it realistically, women don't go 50-50 with men in relationships to begin with. So, regardless of her money or not, you're not that's not his money. So, the way women see it in relationships is the man money is our money, but her money is her money, right? They typically don't want to spend more than, I would say, 20% on bills for a lifetime, right? Especially if they get pregnant and they can't work for 9 months, or they don't want to work after having the kid. They don't want to be financially burdened to paying the bills. So that's why it's more important for men to have that financial stability rather than the women, because he, in some regard, is going to be expected to pay for the financial bills, duties, responsibility. He's going to need to be financially stable to provide for the family and the home. So when women come with money, that's not something we're interested in. Men would definitely take a young woman who doesn't have any money if she has those qualities of being feminine, she's beautiful, and she's agreeable.
And see, okay, so that's the thing. Older women, we have a different mindset. I was a hothead when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm older, I understand that a man needs peace. All the things that black men have to do when they leave out the house, everything that they have to deal with, when they walk through that door and come home, I'm supposed to be his peace. I'm supposed to be that place that, you know, dust your shoulders off of everything that happened to you, all the bad things, all the negativity that got thrown at you. I'm here to be your peace. Not all these women with the BBLs have that mindset, because some of them could be sitting there waiting for him. Well, I need this and I need that and I need this and I need that. So we may not have that perfect body, 36, 28, 36, whatever the measurements are, but we have a different mindset. We have a different mindset, and our mindset needs to match whoever our mate is going to be. So I'm saying, my thing is, I believe that we are just of a different mindset where we understand more of what a man needs on an emotional level than maybe a younger person.
So understanding that and having that knowledge, right, that you both have, do you think it's harder to find men who would commit to you now that you're reaching this period of your life?
I don't think it's harder. Like for me, yes, I'm in a new area, so I need to, check out more of like the local hangouts and stuff like that. I've pretty much just been doing online dating, so I think it would be easier if I would like actually venture out the house a little bit more. I don't think it just depends on where you go to meet these type of men, and it's not necessarily the type of man that I want. It's not going to a club, you know, a lounge, a cigar bar, you know, men, men of means. Like you said, a man who wants to take care of a woman. Just like Miss Yvonne said, I had to learn to be in my feminine energy. I had to learn to be able to, you know, accept and be able to let go of control. And I'm willing to do that for the right one.
I might have a controversial opinion, but I believe that the message needs to be geared towards and focused towards women putting more energy into being a wife at a younger age and settling down with the man that they truly respect and desire. And on the opposite end of that, men need to work hard and sacrifice to become the men that can provide and be stable enough emotionally, mentally for the women that they desire as well. That takes time for men, but I think women a lot of times, you both gave examples of how you were in your 20s, hothead, proverbial flirtatious. So with that, I think the message needs to really be marketed to younger women to really focus on how to become a better wife for a man that truly deserves it. That's my controversial opinion.
I understand what you're saying, but we don't even know ourselves in our 20s. Like, for real. I accept all of who I am now. I didn't back then. Back then I was trying to make sure I stayed thin, and it was just a whole different mindset of feeling insecure about a lot when I was in my 20s. And maybe that's why I just flirted, because it made me feel good to flirt with a man. I don't need that anymore. I know who I am now. I love all of me now. I'm not insecure about anything. I have a son. I got stretch marks galore. Am I getting rid of them? No. Am I getting BBLs? No. You gonna get this body. Do I go to the gym? Yes. I'm in the gym. I'm doing my best to stay in shape, but I know that my shape isn't gonna be the way that I was when I was 21. So I am more accepting of me. I understand what you're saying, to let those 21-year-olds think like a wife, but it's hard to think like a wife if don't can't even if you don't even know who you are yourself. And that's something that takes time. I don't know many 20, 30 even 30-year-olds who can say, I know exactly who I am and I live my life unapologetically, without really in the back of their mind, they're insecure and they're just saying that because it sounds good, not saying that because they truly mean it.
Well, it's funny. The previous generation before us, the baby boomers, they they were definitely getting married at a much younger age than the women of this generation.
But however, a lot of them, I'll say, my parents raised me to be independent. My parents raised me to make sure I go to college and get a job. Okay. My parents didn't go to college. My mother got married at 23, 24. But that's how that generation was. That
Yeah,
generation
and we lost
focused
that
on,
aspect.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That generation focused on getting married, but also I don't know what my parents may have went through to stay together. They were married for 47 years. My mom passed a few years ago, and they're part of the reason why I became a love coach, because all I saw was nothing but love. In my whole family, all I saw was nothing but love, but no one ever told me what it took to get there. I don't know what type of arguments they may have had. I don't know any of that. I don't know what hurdles they had to overcome. I just saw love. So I blindly went out there thinking, oh, I'm just going to find love. But I didn't know how to nourish that love and truly look for that type of love, because nobody taught me those specific things.
To speak to your statement about the baby boomers, I'm a baby boomer. And we were raised because our parents were raised to get married, have families, and have blue collar jobs. They wanted so much more for their children that they raised us go to college, get that degree, and make that money so you don't have to work hard like us. So that's where the split came in getting married at a younger age. You also said teach them young to be a wife. Do you know the first thing a girl gets right out the womb? A baby doll. She's taught to be a mother, which translates to, well, you got to be a wife first. We know that doesn't happen. But from the womb, she gets a baby doll. So from the womb, she's trained to be a nurturer, to take care of people. What do you get the first day you come home? A basketball, a football, a gun, but it's nothing that says family. So when we look at the people your age, because I'm assuming you're in your 30s. We have to look at who raised you. We have to look at the trauma that they went through. Because trust me, the late 70s to the early 90s was a traumatic behind time for humans. And as Miss Nookie said, we weren't raised to live unapologetically ourselves.
Okay. So I'm gonna say one thing before we continue this conversation. It might seem like I'm cutting you ladies off, but I have to keep the flow of the conversation in the podcast, so don't get offended if I jump in. And yeah. So with that being said, I do agree to your point that they were being taught marriage is important at a younger age, and I believe that comes to the point where they're just being taught that being a wife is more important compared to this generation, where you're taught independence, you're taught get a career, get a bag. But I think that's very detrimental when most women don't want to be the breadwinner of the household to begin with, and they don't want to contribute more than 20% to the household to begin with. So I think there's a little bit of a discrepancy there when it comes to like what we're teaching the women of this generation. I think it's all skewed a little bit. And yeah, I just, this is why I said I think the message needs to be, and I thought I would hear this from you too, but I think the message really needs to be that, you know, we do need to put an emphasis on being a wife for the younger generation.
We need to put emphasis on being a man.
We can be a wife, but who, think about it. Most men are being raised by women. Most men don't have a father figure or a true male mentor. So we can create all these wives for what? What are we creating wives for? Wives to be cheated on and taken for granted because they're with these men who just don't know how to be men. There are men out there who know how to be men, but there are more men out there who don't know how to be men. So you want 80 wives for maybe 5 men who actually know how to be men.
And these men are raised by women who had to be single mothers who have been traumatized.
Okay. Hold on. So what I'm going to say is, I know you guys are
Yeah,
very
we ready to go in.
yeah, you are. But I did say that men do need to make the time to sacrifice and become the man that can be the proper husband by being financially stable, being mentally stable, and being emotionally stable as well, being that rock, that provider. That takes time to develop in men. I do think that a lot of men nowadays, especially in my generation, are rushing marriage. When I see men who are in their 20s rushing into relationships, I don't think it's doing us any good. But let's get into my topic. I don't want to go too deep into that. So I
But
know
there was
we could talk about that for a long time. We
Yes,
could
that could be
definitely
the
talk
whole
about that for a
show.
long time. Yeah. So, question I want to ask you two ladies. Do men have a responsibility to protect the women around them and the women that they're dating or in a relationship with?
yes. Men are protectors and providers. And I want to feel safe with the man I'm with. At my age, I don't expect stuff to break out. We supposed to be peaceful. But if something does, I don't want to watch him run to the door before me. I want him to say, yo, you hit him high, I hit him low. I got you, boo. We either fighting out that door or we running out that door, but we going together. So yes, I want to protect her. I want to feel safe. And yes, the women that are in his life, he is their protector. And as his wife, he is my provider. But as his wife, I'm not coming to the table on the first date saying, like Miss Nookie said, okay, you like me? What bill you paying? No, I got my bills. I got my bills. What I need you to pay into is not a bill, honey. I need you to pay into my heart. Can you do something with this heart?
All right. Well, what about you, Miss Nikki? What do you think?
Yes, most definitely. I have no problem telling a man, what I want to do. I want to take this superwoman cape off and put it in the closet. I don't want to get rid of it because I may need it because sometimes I may need to protect you. But you know what I'm saying? Because I've been wearing it for a long fucking time. You know what I'm saying? I just want to put it in the closet and be able to just whew, and relax a bit. But if I need to take it out, I'm gonna take it out again. And we're gonna do this together. Just like Miss Yvonne said, we can both go out guns blazing. But I better not be the one shooting first.
Okay. So, being said that you guys want that men do have a responsibility to protect you, especially when they're dating you and they're out with you. Should that man have authority over you?
Submission is earned. Submission is earned. I cannot just say you have authority over me without truly knowing where your mindset is, what your mind, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something that kind of comes with time. If we on the first date, you're not gonna have authority over me. I don't know you. You're not gonna lead me the wrong way, Moses. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to get to know you. I need to get to know you at your core before I can say that you can have authority over me, because that is what I'm looking for. Someone who can lead me. I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? But I need to get to know you. It does not come automatic. Because there's a lot, oh, I want a woman to submit to me. Okay, what are you going to do to make me feel comfortable that you can take the lead and not lead me in the wrong direction? Like, it's for real. Like, seriously. So all of this, oh, I need a woman to submit. As soon as if a man comes to me with that on the first date, I'm like, you know what? I'm not feeling well. I gotta go home, because it don't even make sense to continue if that's the mindset you have. Automatic submission. Who does that? Who does that?
I said authority. So, in an example, if he thinks this is a risky situation, he needs to have some degree of authority over you, especially when you're on a date. But Yvonne, let me get your thoughts on that. Should a man have authority over you?
I will tell you what Jill Scott said, and I agree 100%. You can tell me what to do if you can tell me what to do. Most men can't tell me what to do. They want me to blindly follow. So I'm on a first date with a guy. What's the authority? Okay, what do you want to eat? The authority comes in when he says, "Oh, I'll order for her." No, hell, you won't. I know what I want to eat. So that's not being submissive. That's making a choice for myself. So I don't know what you mean by on the first date authority. Now, as far as being in a relationship and him knowing me, and we go out to eat, and the waitress says, "What would you like?" And he says, "Oh, she wants the shrimp." That's because he knows I like shrimp.
So let's make this simple. Let's make this simple. If you were in a relationship, since that man has responsibility to protect you, would he also have authority over you as well?
Okay, when you say authority, when you're saying authority, you have to give your definition of authority, because different people have definitions for authority. There's some men that
I mean,
feel
there's only one
authority is,
definition.
no, it's not. Some men feel they come in the house, I'm going to tell you what to do, and that's authority. That's not authority. Authority is taking responsibility to that next level. So I don't have a problem with a brother taking responsibility to the next level. I do have a problem with a man that feels that he always has to tell me what to do. I'm a human. I have thoughts. It's a communication. I'm not going to say, this is what we're going to do. And I don't expect him to do it either. I expect the meeting of the minds.
Oh, authority is different. Authority is different than just telling you a command. Authority is the final say in the decision. So I don't want to misconstrue the two, but let me play the video. Let's get into the video. I want to play for you guys about this, and let me get your thoughts on it. All right.
Responsibility and authority are linked. As a man, if I'm going to be responsible for a woman, I need a degree of authority over her. This is the reality of it. If I'm going to have a ship, if you have a ship, the reason the captain has to go down with the ship is because he is responsible for everything that happens on that ship. And because of that, he has authority. If he yells at the shipmates and they all ignore him, then he can't be considered responsible for the problems on the ship, which means he doesn't have to die with it. If you want a man invested in a relationship, he needs to be responsible for you, but he needs authority over you.
Okay. So shout out to the man Andrew Tate. Quick example of having responsibility in a relationship and then having some degree of authority over that woman while you're in the relationship.
Okay, so can I give an example?
Go ahead. You could tell me your thoughts about the video, what he said. Do you agree, disagree?
I'll put it like this. When I was married, if I said yes, my ex-husband said no. He took authority and led us straight into debt. So it all depends. I was trying to be the good wife. and allow him to have that authority, but now I'm the ex-wife. So like Miss Yvonne said, there's levels to it. Every man can't come up here saying they want authority if they don't really know what they're doing, or if they just want to say the opposite of whatever their wife is saying. Just because you're saying the opposite doesn't mean that you are truly a thought you are truly authorized and have that true responsibility, because you're really not leading us in the right direction.
My thing about that, yeah. The man you're with may not have been a good leader. He may not have been a good person to make choices, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, I can't really feel bad because you chose that man. You chose to be with him. You chose to lay with him. So I mean, who really made the bad choice at the end of the day?
But you said, should a man have authority in a relationship? So I'm telling you, I allowed him to have authority. Yes, I made the bad choice to be with him, but I also allowed him to be that man and give him that authority, which you say should, which you're asking, should a man have authority? And it didn't work out well for me. So moving forward, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna think more. That's why I'm single now. I'm not just jumping back into a situation just to say I have someone.
She didn't make a bad choice. And the reason why I say that is because there was a contract on the table. Both of them signed off on that contract and said, one said I would be this, and the other one said I'd be that. And they signed off on that contract. Somewhere along the way, that contract was breached. It's not that, oh, I fault you because you chose him. The contract was breached. Whether it was her breaching it or him breaching it, the contract was breached. As far as the brother, that was just in that video, I understand what he said, but I didn't see that as someone who is talking about authority. I see that as someone who wants complete control. There is a difference. If you find a woman that is being loved, you don't even have to ask that question. Trust me, you don't have to want to be a king if you have a queen. She knows about authority, she knows about submission. Listen, I'm a woman of God and I read that Bible and I totally understand what kingdomness is. You don't go before God just talking junk. There's praise and worship first. Why? Because he's God.
So, all right, going back to the authority and the degree of authority, right, that you have over women, especially when you enter a relationship with a man, right? Let's talk about that. If a man does a man have a say on whether or not his woman can come out dressed a certain way or what she wears?
I knew you was coming to this, baby. I was ready for you. I got guns blazing. Pow! My husband can say to me, Yvonne, I don't want you to cut your hair down low. I love your hair long. My husband can say that. My husband can say to me, oh, I don't think that's the dress I'd like for you to wear because though it looks good, it looks too good. And only I should be privy to what looks too good on you. If you have not, oh, you like, I saw that I go up. But if you had me way before those 9 months that I gave birth, and you never sealed that contract, boo boo. If I'm sitting there singing like I'm loving this brother with my booty out in a sheer outfit, number one, you don't handle that on social media. You handle that at home. And if you would have handled that at home, I'd never have that outfit on.
Okay, so yeah, you made a very good point. I do believe that you know, if you're a man, you do need to have do need to fit a certain role before you start having certain authorities over a woman. Like if you're just dating, obviously you can't tell her what to wear or how to change her hair or anything like that. But I think it also plays into how if you guys are in a relationship, a serious relationship that could lead to marriage, right? And your man does voice his opinions or concerns about how you dress or what you wear, I think it should be taken heavily into consideration because that choice and how you proceed after that will affect if he becomes a husband or not.
I agree, but to me, it's also, how is he telling me he doesn't want me to wear that? How are you speaking to me? How are we communicating with each other? Like Ms. Yvonne said earlier, I listen to understand, not to respond. Are you talking at me or are you talking to me? That means a lot. And those are two different things, and many of us, we don't know how to appropriately communicate. And that's part of the problem. It all depends on how the conversation comes up.
This goes back to choosing that man that I said is, mentally there, is emotionally there. He's emotionally in tune with himself, emotionally in tune with how you're feeling. It all comes back to the man you choose. Like you should be choosing those qualities. And in my opinion, when you're dating, that's when you look for those qualities.
How many of those quality men are out there?
Oh,
That's the
they're rare,
thing.
very rare, very rare, very rare,
Exactly.
very
That's
rare.
So my question is, when you stated, well, if you're in a relationship that could lead to marriage, I'm not doing anything on a could lead to. You know what I mean? Because I'm doing something because it could lead, because it could possibly be. No, no, that commitment has to be on the table. Because once that commitment is on the table and there's a contract of what I will and won't and what you will and won't, then we can talk about my hair. Then we could talk about my dress. Then we could talk about you not buying that BMW because that's a $100,000 car and you making $50,000 a year. See, you just can't come out the box with, I have authority. Like the brother said, if you're willing to die for that shit, then you have a right to say something about what goes on in and around that ship. But if you're not ready to take that L, don't bring that hell to me in your head of what you feel this relationship should be until you make a commitment or bets are off.
Yeah. No, just to add to that, I think that so this has become a topic in recently on like social media. Do men have the right to say if they're in a relationship what a woman wears and how she goes out, how she presents herself? And I say to a degree, yes, because the things you wear make you a representation of your man, right? So if you're in a relationship with me and you go outside, people are going to know that you represent me. So when they see you, they're going to see me. So that image is very important because I take my image very seriously. And I'm never going to take a woman seriously if she doesn't take that aspect of the relationship seriously. Also, along with that, wearing provocative clothing a lot of the times can lead to unnecessary attention, which can lead to unnecessary situations for men. For example, if your woman is wearing very loose, not loose clothing, but very revealing clothing, very provocative clothing, and you guys are outside in an environment, say her favorite club, and there's going to be a lot of guys there who aren't the best, and one of them keeps constantly harassing her. Not to say that what she's wearing would have stopped the situation altogether, but if he would have said, "Hey, maybe don't wear such a revealing dress, wear something a little bit more," I don't want to say conservative, but something that's less showy, it would have mitigated the amount of harassment that she would have received from other people. Also, when you have a lot of unnecessary and unwanted attention, it puts the man in a precarious situation where he now has to do something about that, which could lead to violence at the end of the day. So, comes back to my point on which I believe men should have a certain level of degree, especially if they're in a relationship with the women, over what she wears.
Okay, now, real quick, Ms. Yvonne. So the way that you explained that she is an example of me, we are a unit, if that conversation is had, that's fine. That's what I'm talking about. You effectively communicated why you feel this way and what you want to see and what you want in your woman. You understand what I'm saying? That's if that conversation is had, then to me, okay, we have you can have that authority. Explain to me. Let me understand what you're feeling, what you're thinking. We are a unit. So let's do this. Okay, we can be that unit. But a lot of men, what you got on? Take it off.
And that's our second date. Our second date, and then they're saying that. Like Miss Nikki said, if that commitment is on the table, there's a difference. And I do agree with you, though, when you say a man could be put in a position now that he has to defend her physically because, a brother get drunk, he gonna talk some mess, and then your man does have to step up to the plate. But before that even happens, how you see yourself as a woman is how you're going to dress. Darling, I don't have to show you nothing. You know why? Because I have two breasts and a vagina. I don't have to show you. Up under, I can wear a sack. And the one thing I have up underneath here is two breasts and a vagina. Now, you don't know if these are perky or they're hanging, but they're there. You don't know if I have a Brazilian or I'm just doing monkey braising, but it's there.
You can exude sensuality just by your presence. Clothing doesn't exude sensuality. When you tap into that inner goddess in you, and everyone can see it, and you don't have to be naked for everyone to see your sensualness, your true goddess. That
True. I think the most beautiful women are the ones who don't have to put it in your face. You know what I mean? You know their beauty's there no matter what they wear. But let me get into this next video that I want to play for you guys. It's about the situation with Keke Palmer
Hmm.
and her husband. Well, okay, let me play the video for you guys, and then we'll get into what your thoughts are. And this will also be for the viewers out there who don't know about the situation. So yeah, this is Keke Palmer, and this is her outfit, and I guess Usher singing to her, and yeah, let's play it. Quick snippet of like what's going on there. This is what Darius, her baby father, had to say. We live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother to his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others. And he gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family, my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. Yeah, just to go off that, I think we do live in a weird society where a man can't be vocal about what he wants his woman to wear or what she wears or what she has on. We get shamed for it.
That's a conversation for the house. That's a conversation that you have at the house. Now, I did see another post where Keke said, "So you guys really think he didn't see what I had on before I left the house? You think he didn't slap my ass before I left the house?" So, regardless, that's something for the house. Number one. Number two, her and Usher, you have to have a certain mindset to deal with someone who is in the entertainment industry. It is what it is. They're not your average folk. You understand what I'm saying? So their lifestyle is different. But the whole outfit thing, that's a conversation that should have been done at the house. Just like how you said earlier, we are a unit. You should dress a certain way. That's how that conversation should have been if he was really that upset.
Well, this is the thing. It should have happened at the house, whatever. I think what he was trying to do or what he did was that he shined a light on a topic where usually if the man was vocal about this, he would get shamed about it. He would get shamed for it. And that's exactly what happened to him. He said, you were showing booty cheeks, touching Usher, and I don't like that. And he got shamed for it just for having an opinion. But then on the other hand of things, you have, and this is a random example, but you have Steph Curry's wife who's on a TV show taking off her wedding ring, and we applaud her.
No, we don't.
A lot of women, there's some women out there who really do applaud behavior like that.
The young one.
They also applauded the fact that she came out and said that she wanted attention from more men besides Steph Curry. We also applaud behavior like JT and Uzi, who are both rappers in the music industry right there in music industry right now. Lil Uzi was talking to another woman, Ice Spice, and JT physically assaulted him with her phone, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody says anything about it. So it to me, it just looks like black men are just tolerating all this, and we're being pushed down to not say anything. And if we do say something, oh, we get shamed for it.
Don't say we, because honey, you're not in that group with those men. I just met you an hour and 18 minutes ago, and I know that you're not the type of man to do what Lil Uzi did. You're not going to take a woman out
Oh no,
and then
no.
turn your attention to somebody else where the woman that you're with has to bash you in the head. So don't say we, say them. You're not,
And the thing
you're
is,
not part of them.
you know who you're dealing with. You know when you got that rah-rah girl. So if you know you got that rah-rah girl, why you making her be rah-rah? By doing stuff that you know she would deem disrespectful. I mean, we all know who we deal with when we deal with someone.
And we know Keke is out there. We know Keke. Listen, we love Keke from Akilah and the Bee, but Keke is ghetto fabulous, and we know that. We know that. Steph Curry's wife. Please let me speak to this. That girl is so insecure, and it's ridiculous because she's been his girl since junior high school. You mean to tell me that you need attention like all these video vixens, but you got the flyest man in the league? I'm sorry.
And a
Steph
man
Curry
who
is
loves
a
you.
beauty, but you need more attention from men. So you're taking off your wedding band. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy because when you have a good one, you want to act like that when you have a good one, when good men are so hard to find in this day and age. So, like,
Uh,
like
I
can,
mean, to
can we
my point,
appreciate what we have when we have something good?
Thank you.
exactly. So back to that point, right? I gave an example of 3 successful black men who are in the limelight, who are successful, professional. Well, not really professional, but they're successful and they've made something of themselves, right? But look at what they're tolerating. So when I see something like that, and this goes back to the woman being a representation of the man that you are, I don't think highly of these men because of how the women present themselves in the public and in the limelight.
Are they tolerating it or are they selecting it? There's a
They're
difference.
tolerating it.
They're
No,
They're
selecting
tolerating.
it.
They're doing both. They're doing both.
It's
They're
their
selecting it and they're tolerating it.
I made a bad choice with my ex-husband. They're making a bad choice with the women who they're with.
I agree. I agree. 100%. I agree.
It's them. They're going. They're not. They may not really know what they want because many of us don't know what we want. It takes time for you to truly know what you want in a relationship. So you may meet someone. The sex is bomb because sex make you lose your your thought process easily, and then boom, you're in a relationship, but you really don't know this person. That's what happens. You don't take time to truly get to know someone at their core before being physical or even before saying, okay, we are truly in a relationship now.
So how long has Keke been with this man that this is the first time she wore something risque?
May 2021, they met at, because I looked this up yesterday. It's so funny. They met at Issa Rae and Diddy's Memorial Day birthday memorial party.
She's never wore anything risque.
He's saying it's because she's now a mom.
Did it make a difference? Respect of you is respect of you, whether you're a mother or not. I respected myself before July 16, 1985, and I respect myself now.
But do you think your wardrobe changes? Your wardrobe would change as you get into a relationship or as you become a mom. Does your wardrobe change, or do you just wear the same things?
My wardrobe has changed. I did do the proverbial throughout the club clothes when I had my big belly. So, my wardrobe has changed. But once again, remember, Keke is an entertainer. There's a difference.
That's no excuse because there's plenty of other entertainers and there's plenty of other guys in relationships, and the women don't embarrass them like this. Come on.
I'll say again, is this her first risque outfit?
Why hasn't her mindset changed to say, hey, this is too revealing? Maybe I need to change.
Did you guys see the IG with Taraji and Gabrielle Union? They were on a red carpet somewhere, and it was ass out all over the place. They're both moms and they both look good. Usher wasn't singing to them, but they're still it's the industry. It's like, to me, it's comparing apples to orange if you want to compare someone in the industry to someone who's a normal person.
It's insecurity. Keke snapped the hell back like that after that baby. He is not stupid. He knows that he has not made a solidified commitment and that this woman is available to pick up stakes, take that baby, and move to another tent. That's on him that he did not make his commitment sure and that he didn't have a conversation. Think about when you was a kid, before you went to the store, what your mama say? Don't we're gonna get in this car. You ain't gonna act up. I don't want you bothering your brother, and you better not ask me something in the store. You go in the store and you get ready to ask him, your mother's like, what I tell you? Okay, so you had the conversation. Like she said, when he saw her walking out that door with booty cheeks out, was the time to have that conversation. It
Well,
wasn't
we
to
don't know
then
the details of it. Maybe he did have the conversation. This goes back to authority. Maybe we don't know,
and
but maybe he did have the conversation, and maybe he
right.
did tell her, "Hey, I don't like that." But she believed that he did not have authority over her in that way, so she said, "I'm not listening to you." We don't know, which is why it's so important to have a degree of authority over the woman that you're with.
He doesn't have a degree of authority. He has no commitment. He's not her husband.
I don't think he needs to. I don't think he needs to be her husband.
But we don't even know if the marriage thing came into play before she got pregnant. We don't know what kind of conversations they were having. The pregnant could have been the 2023 version of a oops, even though I don't believe in oopses in that respect. But you understand what I'm saying? What if they were just, in a relationship and just happened to get pregnant and never had that? What if they never had any intentions of being married?
What if she just wanted one night to wear something like this because she herself was shocked that she snapped back so quick? This ain't my behavior. I'm just doing this for this one night. I've worn stuff not like that, but I've worn stuff I just want to see, that I wouldn't regularly wear. Maybe it was just a one time thing with her. And because he decided to put it on social media, he has now made it our business.
Well, that just goes to my point that I do believe that men need a certain degree of authority over that the women that they choose to be in a relationship with. But to flip the script for you guys, do you guys have any questions for me?
You keep going back to, I believe a man should have authority over a woman. Why do you keep going back to that? Because if you bring that man to the relationship, you won't have to worry about authority. I will say again, a queen knows how to.
But no, Miss Yvonne, there are women out there who want that. There are women out there who just want a man to do and say everything for them. We're not those women, obviously, but there are women out there who will gravitate to men like him who say, "Okay, this is how it's going to be," and there are women out there that want that. So we can't say you're never going to find that. There are women out there who do want that.
My question was, does he understand that when you're a king, you don't have to keep saying, reiterating authority. There's not one king in the history of all that we know had to say, I need authority, because that king was able to have authority because people respected him. Authority comes with respect.
Okay, so I bring that point up because he is a successful black man who has made something out of himself, right? And no, that does mean something. That does mean something, and it just proves to show that even a black man who makes something out of himself will not always have authority over his woman. So you say king, but we're looking at a black successful man who made something of himself, and his woman is, based on his opinion, disrespecting him in the public limelight. So that's why I keep bringing back up that point, because he reached a certain level of financial status, and social status.
But that doesn't make you a king. You could still be an a-hole.
But would a king do it publicly? That's the issue I have, is that you took this to the public. It's a private matter. Don't try and shame me in public, because then I'm I'm gonna jump from my feminine side to my masculine side, and I'm gonna clap back. Don't come for me in public trying to shame me.
Like I said, I think he was shining a light on a bigger issue that we have. And the bigger issue is you have black, and I gave you two other examples of Little Uzi and Steph Curry, but you do have black men who make something of themselves. You may not call them kings, whatever. We don't even have kings in today's day and age. And I don't know who you would think of as a king, but as far as you go, there's a lot of public black figures out there who are still tolerating a lot of bad behavior from the women that they're with, and that's the point I wanted to make.
Wait, I got one more point. I got one more point, right? So I would be all for what you're saying if he was the type of person that posted about the black family and family values before this.
Hmm.
If he was like, say,
What does that have to do with anything?
because he put her on blast. It's like you're saying, right? He's trying to show what the black family should be doing, yada yada yada. You should have been about that before she's out there half naked. Like, let's say he was leading men's groups and having master classes for men about family values and stuff like that. Then I would be like, all right, that's his thing. But you come out afterwards talking about family values.
I don't see the correlation, but
It's not matching up. If you're that much about preaching about family values, why weren't you doing it before this?
I don't think he needs to preach about family values in his social media to talk about family values when it presents itself.
You didn't have to put her on blast on social media, just like you don't have to preach about family values. Which one is more important to talk about on social media, though? Wouldn't it be the family values?
I mean, I think this was pretty important to talk about, you know.
It is important. I just think it should have happened without him, without Keke butt being it. I mean, no. What I'm saying is, it shouldn't have taken for Keke's behind to be outside for him to start talking about family values on publicly online. That's the point I'm getting at.
And what I want to speak to is, you say a black man is successful, he's making money, and he still has to tolerate bad behavior. Just because you come to a financial pinnacle in your life does not mean that you're not an idiot. And what I mean by an idiot is you could be a nasty human being. And just because you've come to a financial status doesn't mean that gives you respect. It's how you carry yourself. Like I said, I had only met you for an hour and 18 minutes, and I said to you, you can't couple yourself with those other guys, because what I've heard you speak about, you would not be like one of them, because they would not speak the way you speak. You have gotten respect from me by your whole conversation. So just because he has that money doesn't mean that he gets authority. And you're saying, well, there's no modern day kings. You're a king. There's a king within you. Absolutely. And because I've seen that, that's why I respect you. I'll see you in the street from here. Hey, that's a really nice guy. He's really cool. I was on his podcast. He's so smart. He was talking all the stuff, and he was able to have a discussion, and he listened to us. That's what I think of you. And the
Thank you, thank
conversation
you.
that she's talking about is, he did not have the proper conversation before she left the house. He didn't have that proper conversation before she got pregnant. He didn't have that proper conversation their second date. We all know Keke Palmer, we love her. But Keke is out there. And he knew he was with a sister. That's like when you shake up Coca-Cola and you take the top off, whoosh, it's everywhere. So you never know what to expect. So now that you're with a woman like that, and now she's had your baby, don't try to come for her on social media and do a slap down of authority.
Or expect her to do a 360.
She's your girl. That should have happened in your home. Since you're saying family values, do it with your family within your values. Don't bring it to us. All of us didn't need to have anything to do with what you had to say. Just showing that picture, he didn't have to put a caption in there at all. Trust me, we would have lit her tail up for him because that's just the way social media goes. But he wanted that controversy. He wanted that attention. You don't put stuff on Facebook, Instagram, uh, TikTok, and Twitter if you don't want attention. You absolutely do. You're going to take this podcast and you're going to put this on somewhere. You're going to stream it. Why? Because you want attention. I'm glad you want attention because then Determined Women of Destiny and Yvonne the Motivated Man gets attention and Miss Nookie gets attention. That's why we do this because we feel we have something to give to the public and we need your attention.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree with that. I do think there needs to be some accountability on his end as well. You really have to vet the women that you're choosing to have kids with and that you're entering a relationship with. And, I don't think that was done thoroughly. And, I would say most men don't vet their women thoroughly enough when they choose to lay down with them or choose to have kids with them or, choose to be in relationships with them. But that's another topic of discussion.
Well, one thing I want to say is like us as a culture, we were never taught how to date. Really, like that to me, that's one of the reasons why I became a love coach to help people learn how to date. We were never taught as a whole entire culture. We just were never taught how to date. And that has been detrimental to our society on a whole.
We were forced to mate and then we were ripped apart from the person that we mated with and had children and our children was ripped apart from us, and so 400 years of trauma goes into these relationships now.
Yeah, we're just out here trying, constantly trying. Okay, we messed up with that. And I mean, that's why so many people keep saying, I keep meeting the same man or I keep meeting the same woman. Because, all right, what I tell my clients to do after you get out of a relationship, you really got to debrief that relationship. Sit down, write about it. What was good? What was bad? What did you contribute to the good of it? And what did you contribute to the bad of it? Because a lot of us we don't take any ownership of our own actions and we start blaming everybody. We just start blaming everybody and that ends up being part of the problem. But we need to start taking ownership of what we did, whether it was good or bad, and assessing what we did, what we liked about the relationship or what we didn't like about the relationship. Because what I do, if it's something I didn't like about the relationship, I know that next time I'm going to see that red flag for what it is. I'm not going to turn it green. And I know these are things that I don't want. I know these are my deal breakers. And I know what I do want. But a lot of times we don't do that. We just jump from one relationship to the next because we're lonely or we're horny. And that's the cycle that many of us keep. That's the cycle we keep going through.
No, yeah, I agree. I think we do need to, be taught how to date. And how to date with intention and how to date effectively is very important as well. But without further ado, let's wrap this up. Guys, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, follow these two wonderful ladies, if you can, on their platforms. I'll link everything below. And yeah, we are out of here, guys.